Okay, so it seems like there's been a little bit of a situation going on with some VTubers. Now, again, this has been a pretty bad one because if you don't know, obviously we covered vexmlk before in the sense that, you know, it was a pretty, negative thing that was happening to her. Essentially, she was getting kind of harassed over her cancer and all of this kind of stuff, as well as there was some stuff going on with like Cinder fans and whatever going after her. But we've talked about her before. We've been positive about her before, but this time I feel like this isn't so great because obviously it says here, Vex posted a fake email of Kodiak supposedly threatening her, which ends up getting up wrongly fired after someone reported him. So yeah, essentially a VTuber has gotten fired from his job after someone reported this to his work, right? And essentially this was the tweet that Vex put out saying, okay, and it shows an email from kodiakvt@hotmail.com and saying, hey Vex, I just want to know that you'll make a great blank victim since you like to haul yourself out. If there's one thing you deserve, it's getting blanked and having your screams of anguish out to the world to see. Again, you can kind of see what it's saying, right? I'm not going to continue reading it. It's pretty horrible. And yeah, of course, 100% she does not deserve to be having this message sent to her. But I think what has happened next in terms of figuring out who actually sent this message and whether it was Kodiak or whether it wasn't Kodiak is the kind of thing that people are annoyed about, right? And again, here is another thing they posted, and apparently she ended up deleting it, saying, I deleted the post with the email that was sent to me last night because apparently it's coming from someone who's pretending to be Kodiak. It is not actually Kodiak himself. Now, between then, though, a lot of people have been going after Kodiak and essentially, obviously calling up his work and stuff. And to the point where obviously this clip has come out from Kirsche, and also Kodiak uploaded it as well. And he's essentially talking about it here on stream of what happened. So let's just take a listen, and then of course we will talk about it.
10:34. So it took 30 minutes approximately. I sent DJ a message. Hey man, I just got fired from my job. Now the way that it went down from the company that I work for, whom I will not dox because I think that doxing is an evil fucking practice. And right now I have a lawyer looking into it, which I don't want to disclose on the internet. They basically came up to my desk, a guy from HR plus a security officer from the front desk of the building came up to my desk, and he told me, you need to pack your things. Apparently, we are firing you this morning. My first question to the guy that came up to me was like, what did I just get fired for? And basically what he told me was, we got an anonymous complaint that you have been essaying women on the internet. And this company cannot tolerate that from its employees. They stated you by first and last name, which is how we knew it was you. I didn't want to cause a fuss. They gave me one little cardboard box. Took me about 2 minutes to put all of my stuff in that box. And I calmly walked out the door.
So yeah, that's essentially it, right? He ended up getting fired from his job, essentially for this email that wasn't him. So again, pretty insane. And you can see here that this was obviously a fan of Vex or whatever, as you can see here by this tweet thing, saying, I'm pretty sure I found his job and stuff. Give me a sign and I'll handle it, Vex. Now, again, I don't know if they've heard that sign or not. I don't know if Vex gave them a sign to do that, or if they just ended up doing it anyways. I'm not sure. But obviously there's a lot of people that have been kind of, saying that. But yeah, essentially it was a fan of hers that found his job, said that he was the one that did this, when in actual fact, it was just a troll. It was just someone pretending to be him and, making him look bad, right? which of course I think is, you know, it's not okay, right? Of course, because, you know, that's his job now gone, right? And I think it is pretty ridiculous that this has actually happened in the first place. And yeah, I mean, what a lot of people have been going after, you know, Vex for as well is the fact that, you know, people saying that he tried to reach out to her and say that, hey, you know, it's not me, you know, that wasn't me who sent the email, and, you know, ended up banning him from the server. They clearly had no plans to fix the mistake until more people called you out. This is classic Vex. You attack people, get exposed, try to double down, and mass block to cover your tracks. Then when the heat gets too much, you're exposed to the point of no return. You delete and gaslight. I also never accused anyone, myself, of anything, but you did. And again, it's you trying to gaslight and spin a story. And obviously, yeah, this was the original post at OK. And that is very much a kind of, you know, targeted thing towards Kodiak, right? That is a kind of allegation that you're bringing. You're saying that, you know, by posting this email, you're implying that Kodiak was the one that wrote this, and it's the, you know, the email that is essentially got him fired from his job, which obviously wasn't him, right? And he tried to explain that. Apparently he tried to contact Vex, you know, through Discord or whatever, but ended up getting banned, and of course, you know, wasn't able to actually reach out to her and say, hey, this wasn't me, this was someone else. And yeah, I think it is pretty crazy, right? Now, again, you know, let's just continue going through the response that she had here, saying, you know, apparently it was someone pretending to be him. I don't want to be falsely accused. I posted the email in question because I don't believe that anyone who sends that kind of threat deserves to remain anonymous. But if it's causing harm to someone that is innocent, it's not worth it at that point. But yeah, I mean, it's not him, you know. Sure, like if you want to like expose it because you don't want them to remain anonymous for sending you an email, sure. But if it's causing harm to someone who's innocent, it's not worth it. But yeah, it's not worth it because it's not him, right? Like, of course it's not worth it because, you know, it's not him that is sending you the email. So yeah, she said, leave Kodiak alone and worry about the one impersonating him, and apparently multiple others. The email being used to send these disgusting messages needs to be investigated. And of course, yeah, I think the person who ever sent this, of course, you know, is 100% in the wrong as well. But I think obviously bringing this to public and not actually confirming with Kodiak, hey, did you send this to me? Or at least, you know, allowing him to speak to you and explain, you know, what is going on. I feel like that is the kind of massive misplay here, because you've now cost him his job, right? And by making that original post, you've cost him his job, which obviously is horrible, right? And loads of people are not happy about this. They're saying you quite literally got him fired because some lunatic from your audience doxed him. This is your fault, you absolute scumfuck. But of course, you would just delete everything and avoid accountability for this. That the post was public. It was not limited to anyone within my community. I have never pushed my community to hurt others. I push for the opposite. However, I cannot control how everyone chooses to react. Yeah, but like you can control like not releasing the email, right? Saying the post was public, you know, I don't know if this is, again, you put it into the public though. I don't think this email was public before, you know, obviously Vex was the one that posted this. Maybe it came from someone else, I'm not sure, but again, I think further kind of, you know, promoting it to your fan base, and then obviously someone directly responding to your post. I mean, you know, you have, you know, just kind of given that to your audience for them to go and take that and do the stuff that they did to him, which of course is terrible, right? So again, you got to take some accountability here and saying like, hey, yeah, no, that was my fault for posting that. I shouldn't have. And of course now my audience have gone crazy and, you know, done all this horrible stuff. But again, it just seems like you're saying, oh, it's public anyways. It just doesn't really, I don't know, right? Now, of course, you know, there's been some more, you know, comments on it. For example, like kirsche saying, are you actually kidding me? vexmlk, you are beyond a disgusting individual, and I hope you get some psychiatric help you need. You don't make up some fake ass spoofed email to defame someone. Get pity points for it online, and then go after their job. I know you probably felt power trip after getting Rev and Strawberry cut from Advanced GG and are chasing the high to harm more people, but this is so insanely screwed up, I don't know where to begin. This is apparently the kind of person Advanced GG wants to partner with over creators who actually made them money and didn't actively try to get other creators dropped from their sponsors or their RL jobs. Screw everyone who supports this kind of stuff, and I hope lawsuits get rightfully served to Vex, to the other person coordinating, and to his company for wrongful termination. Which, yeah, I think there's a lot of different factors at play here. I think obviously the person who sent the original email is in the wrong, because of course I don't feel like Vex, you know, deserves that kind of email, especially from the start of things and all of this kind of stuff. And then of course I think Vex is in the wrong for publicly posting it without kind of clarifying and verifying that this was actually sent from Kodiak or not, which it wasn't. And then obviously she's also in the wrong for ignoring him and, you know, not being able to, you know, hear out exactly what he has to say, and, you know, to say that this isn't him, right? And then also the job as well, the job that he works at, wherever it is. Yeah, I feel like they should have done a little bit more research into it and heard him out before actually, you know, deciding to fire him. Which of course I think, you know, they should have done an actual investigation into what was going on and realized that, oh, this stuff is fake. This wasn't him. But of course these claims, I'm sure maybe the audience member, the reply person here, maybe, you know, juiced up the claims a lot more. So, you know, it sounded much more serious, right? It said, lol, you won't be able to run forever, man. You know, people saying, I'm sorry for being silent, but vexmlk is doing defamation right now publicly because of the impersonation issue Kodiak was having while he is away from his devices since 2:16 a.m. For my time. Vex received her email at 9:10 for me in my time converted zone. That is 7+ hours apart, and Kodiak is already away from his devices he uses for streaming related stuff. He doesn't use Hotmail as well, and this was also branded as an impersonation account in the Discord server as well. I'm sorry, but I'm done. Vex, go screw yourself. And, you know, as I said before, you know, we've 100%, you know, supported Vex before with a lot of the kind of hate and harassment that she's been getting in terms of a lot of the, what do you call it? The, like the whole Cinder stuff that went on. We didn't really so much, obviously, you know, we didn't so much cover her part in the advanced GG thing, but that was terrible. And now there's this. It's just like people were starting to go like, okay, this is getting a little bit ridiculous now, right? And I think it is. People saying, in case someone tells you that he can use his phone, said yes. Also, it got so bad with censoring people's stuff on Discord to prevent impersonations of them as well, which I think is crazy. And I said, oh, and I'm not done. Kodiak is currently on Kentucky. That's the location for the email. The email is not in Kentucky. So obviously they kind of tracked the email. It's not based in Kentucky. It's based somewhere else. Also, the VPN part too is stupid because, oh, he used VPN. You know, again, they're trying to essentially, you know, debunk a lot of stuff that's going on. And, you know, if you're saying, I appreciate watching my Six Sharky. The sad thing is I was dealing with a family matter and did not have the time to get in front of this. Thank you for the support. So yeah, it seems like he had a lot of stuff going on at the same time as well that didn't allow him to kind of, you know, address a lot of the stuff that was going on, right? But yeah, it is starting to get pretty crazy, right? And so many more speaking out about it, saying, so a streamer buddy of mine, kodiakvt, got doxxed and fired from his job with a made-up reason. Who would do such an awful thing? Vex, aka vexmlk, the beloved blank, who thinks that she cannot be criticized because she's a cancer survivor. But Monkey does not care. You are an absolute awful human being. And to Kodiak, I hope you'll get a new place, and I wish you all the best going forwards from here. So yeah, I mean, it is pretty crazy, and I do think that, you know, a lot of this behavior is very concerning in terms of, you know, a lot of the fan behavior, as well as Vex trying to avoid accountability for this. Again, it's not good whatsoever. And yeah, I hope that things get better for Kodiak, and I hope that things get just better overall, right? But yeah, I mean, that's about all I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code CASO, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.